Hello, it's Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter here. Now it's mid-November and I'm in the process of making my handmade Christmas cards. These are ones that I'll be posting out to friends and relatives and gifting by hand to the people that I'm going to see and posting through the letterbox of my neighbours. Many people are concerned about the rise in the postal costs, so I'm going to talk today about the realistic cost of posting and talk to you about size, dimension and thickness, and let's put it into perspective. If you've gone to the trouble of making a handmade card, make the card that you want to do and pay the postage that needs to be paid in order to get the thing delivered. I'm going to recommend that you save the more elaborate, the lush, the thicker, the matte and layering, the dimension cards. Keep those for hand delivering or giving to your neighbours and loved ones. I'm going to be making some videos about the making of this year's cards, and in particular I'm going to take into account size, dimension and weight, and just giving some tips as to how you can meet the criteria and still keep the cost down. But let's put things into perspective here. I can post 4 Christmas cards, second class posts, for the equivalent of a cup of coffee. So to say hello to 4 people by post, that's not bad, is it? Now, there has been some confusion because not only have we a change in monarchy, and that has an impact on the postage stamps in the UK, but there has been a change with using barcodes. So I'm going to guide you through whether or not you can use the old stamps that you have. And the good news is, yes, you can. Now, I found some old postage stamps from last year and from 2022. I'll show you them here. There is no denomination, there's no value on them. But in real terms, in value, they're worth it this year for me of just under £20. So it's worth rooting out those old stamps. Now, the post office did have a swap-in scheme if you didn't have a barcode or they had the Queen's head on them, and they've actually decided to honour the fact that you bought Christmas stamps in the past so you can use them. First of all, let me show you those. These are the normal UK stamps. Now, you can use the old ones with the Queen's head on, but the new stamps now have the King's head on. Both have to have a barcode on to be valid. Not so with the Christmas stamps. You can see that these stamps are from 2022, from the Angels range. They have the Queen's symbol on it, and I can still use those. Now, they're the equivalent of this year's 85p second class stamp, so those 2 stamps are worth £1.70 for me. And these stamps are from, let me get it right, 2022 and 2023. The difference is one has the Queen's head and ones have the King's head. They both have a barcode on, and the post office is honouring the value of those stamps. The first class stamps are now worth £1.65 this year. I didn't pay that for them a few years ago, but I can use all of those in my stamps this year. This year's designs are based on UK cathedrals. The first class will be Liverpool Cathedral, £1.65, and the second class will be Edinburgh Cathedral, worth 85p. They're available now at your local post office. I don't work for the post office, so any information I've gleaned I've taken from the internet and from leaflets. So let me just guide you through. The leaflets give details, and it can be quite confusing because it's in centimetres. And like many crafters, I work in imperial measures, that's in inches. So let me guide you through, first of all, the sizes that you can post for second class postage and the dimensions and the weight. So first of all, the size. If you were to take an A4 piece of paper or card and fold it in half, you will get the equivalent of a C5 size. And that would go for a second class post. So any cards that are 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, 6x4, even 5x7 or a half fold C5 would go for 85 pence. But remember, the weight of the card and the envelope matter. So if you're making cards with heavy weight cardstock, I'm making some that is 300 GSM. It's going to weigh more, and the risk is the larger the card I make, the more it will weigh. So I'm making the larger size, I think 6x4 cards. I'm not adding any dimension to those, and those should go for 85 pence. Now, for 85 pence, you can post anything that is less than 1/4 of an inch thick. Now, that's not much. By the time you've got a folded card and an envelope, that really isn't much. You can get some dimension in by adding the self-adhesive, the 3D layers, but be very careful. Use very thin layers because that 1/4 of an inch truly isn't much. Now, if you test it at the post office and it won't go through the certain thickness, you're paying another 70p, and that card will then cost you £1. Let me check the facts. £1.55. That's still for a second class stamp. I'm going to be showing you how to make some cards where you can alter the card, stamp onto it, take it away, emboss it, that will meet that criteria for an 85 pence stamp. That's a challenge I've set myself, and I'll be uploading the video for that soon. So make sure that you like this, subscribe, and come back and watch while I'm doing that. Now, anything larger than that, so if you're looking at a 5x7 heavyweight card, or a folded in half A4, or something with mats and layers and lush ribbons. I love adding velvets to my cards. If I've gone to the trouble and I want to post that card out to somebody special, I'm going to pay whatever it costs to pay. If in doubt, I always recommend don't put a stamp on it, take it to your post office and make sure you're paying the right postage. They'll test the dimensions and the thickness and the weight of the card. A first class stamp will cost £1.65. Now let's again put that in perspective. You can buy 4 of those for £6.60. That's the cost of a toastie in Marks and Spencer's or Costa Coffee. So again, put things into perspective when you're thinking, if you've gone into the trouble of making somebody a really nice card, are you really going to quibble over the cost of a stamp? I think it's important to keep the tradition of sending Christmas cards out. And for some people, it's my way of maintaining contact with them. And they like receiving them. They say my cards are the ones that they really look forward to opening when they're getting them. And they keep them too. Now, for posting dates this year, Christmas Day is on a Wednesday. So that's Wednesday, the 25th of December. You need to get your second class cards in the post by the Wednesday before. That's Wednesday, the 18th of December. If you've missed that post and you have to put a first class stamp on it, then that's the Friday before Christmas, Friday, the 20th of December. So that gives me about a month to make all my cards. I've started making them already, and I'm looking at ways of altering the card by die cutting, embossing, stamping onto, stamping into, adding lightweight features like vellum. Why don't you come back soon and join me then for more crafting? This is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter. I hope I've cleared up any confusion that there might be over the UK posting dates. If in doubt, look online or check at your post office. We're glad to still see them on our high street, and aren't we lucky to have a service that will send greetings from us to our loved ones for less than £1. Right, see you soon. Bye.